Rita, so glad you're here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience here. I know I was essentially a stranger to you a few weeks ago, but now we're best friends. So, anyways, yeah, really excited you're taking the time to share your experience so other people, I mean, Rita, remember during this whole conversation here, there's going to be at least one person that watches this call that's going through a really fucking shitty time right now. And to them, this is like this, they're going to think this is some kind of like roll the dice. You know what I know, it's not as much of a roll of the dice as people think here. I never said this is easy. I just said if you do what I put in front of you, you stick with it, you embrace those hard days for what they are, the workout, the rite of passion next level, you'll always get rewarded on the other end. On that note, I'm not going into the details here, but you and I just had a conversation in the last 24 hours about how that is absolutely true. But anyway, I'm really excited to hear your feedback today. So I'm gonna start with the first question. You already know what the first question is going to be. Rita, what brought you my way?
I saw it's basically an ad on Facebook, and I've been looking for a relationship coach. I was married for 36 years, and in 2018, my husband passed away from cancer, and I started dating. I'm 62, so it's a whole different ball game today. And I didn't feel I was being successful and disappointed in kind of the quality of the guys that I
Mhm.
was finding. And I was struggling with how to handle that whole dating relationship thing. So I thought if I found a good expert, I'd latch on to their wagon.
And I mean, I know your whole story here without sharing details. You've certainly upgraded quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
You remember where we started, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good. So yeah, anyway, little humor there. So anyway, we had a conversation. Now, if I remember correctly, we actually connected one time and then there was like a gap before we finally just, worked together. So anyway, but here's my question here. Once we finally had our last, conversation where you were ready for this, look, I get it. For a lot of people, they don't know me from a fucking hole in the wall. I mean, I was still essentially a stranger to you. Obviously, I have quite a number of video testimonials. I always tell people, you think I can make that shit up? Like, then great, keep doing what you're doing here. But anyway, bottom line is, once we finally had that conversation where you decided that this is for me here, what was it about our conversation that made you decide to work with me? I'm always curious to hear that answer. It could have been a roll
Well,
of dice. It could have been like, fuck it, I have no other options. Who fucking knows? But I always like to hear what it was that finally got them to say, you know what, this is worth pursuing.
well, the gap was I was reading your testimonials because I wanted to know if this was something worth pursuing.
Mhm.
And the reason I went ahead is because you took a different approach. You talked about, kind of rewiring the brain and how you go and visit, like I have, with therapists,
Mhm.
and all you're doing is bringing up the same stuff over and over and over and talking about it. That didn't get me anywhere. I was no better off. I wanted to be better off when I finished working with somebody. And I'm much better off now after working with you.
We both know that. To anyone listening, by the way, I'm not a therapist, counselor, I'm none of those people. I'm not a medical practitioner. But if you really take the time to go through my YouTube channel, I guarantee you won't see anyone else on planet fucking Earth that can showcase what I can here. I mean, I can't talk on behalf of everyone here, but if you right now, you're listening to this and you're right now working with some kind of run-of-the-mill cookie cutter therapist, ask them, hey, can you fix this? What is the time frame? When is the graduation date? You will not like their fucking answer. You have to ask yourself a simple question. How come they're committing to jack shit? I mean, if they really know what they're doing, why can't they give you a date? I guarantee I'll put 3 days to me against anything else you're doing. I'm not saying I'll fix all your problems in 3 days, but I'll give you momentum. Momentum you can feel. And who gives a shit what kind of concepts you have if you can't feel it? I mean, right now, for anyone listening here, if you're going to a counselor therapist, I know why you're going there. You're going there so you can feel consistently better. But you ever wonder why after your little rah-rah session and you kind of yell and complain and shout or whatever the fuck you're doing in there, you ever wonder why? Yeah, sure, you feel a little bit better in the session. But a day or two later, you feel like garbage all over again, and all you're doing
Yep.
is waiting for the next fix to go back there again. How
Yep.
come that cycle never ends? How come they never fucking actually fix it? You have to ask yourself that question. I
Yep.
got one program, 6 weeks. I don't want
Yep.
to hold on to you forever. I'm not a counselor or therapist. I don't want to put you in
I
the
don't
fucking.
need you anymore. No
Yeah.
offense, Lance,
You
but
good. You I don't want you to need me anymore. Good.
I'm
Good.
happy. I'm happy. I'm very happy all day long. And I've upgraded major when it comes to relationships. I found a really nice guy, financially stable, quality. Um, took me out, took me to a high-end steakhouse, pays for everything, sent me a dozen roses. Um, he just booked a place. I live in northern Maine for 2 months in Florida and paid for it for us to go there to get out of the snow and the cold
Mhm.
because financially he can afford it. And I'm living the dream, to be honest with you.
Amen. I will say, I will say this because I also want to make sure I'm incredibly straightforward with people about this, what this is, what's not. Remember what I said to you, and I'd say to anyone here, this is ultimately for you. You're not doing this for other people. This is not some kind of
Mm-mm.
manipulation control course. It's an
Uh-uh.
emotional strengthening course. When you
Help.
feel good, you speak good, you make different decisions. But ultimately, at
Yep.
the end of the day, everyone on planet Earth has something called free will. This just makes relationships a hell of a lot more enjoyable. And as a nice little side benefit, makes it much more. I mean, I always tell people, how can you attract and keep the right people unless you make it fucking impossible for the wrong people to waste your time and energy? So ultimately, Rita, you know this here. This is something you did for yourself.
Myself.
Okay?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
great. So we got started, and yeah, you clearly upgraded quite a bit, during our time here together. But I'm curious to know, Rita, during this program, remember, I never said this is easy. No, you still never saw the unicorns in the morning, right?
Mm-mm.
No. So at what point did the program did you say to yourself, this is working? Like this, like what point did you
Oh.
really truly click in with that buy-in, like where you knew something, maybe again, maybe you didn't solve all your problems already, but something was clearly happening in the right direction where you're like, this is it. Like I just gotta stick with it here. How long did it take in the program where you knew this is gonna get you to where you wanted to go?
In 2 or 3 days, I felt something was a little different. And
Hmm.
I'd say within that first week, I knew that this could possibly work. I mean, we were still early in, but I'm
Yeah,
like, I think this is going to work.
wonderful, wonderful. So now, yeah. So anyway, you clearly crushed in the program. Yeah, I mean, this isn't, and by the way, anyone listening here, I don't promise by the end of the program you're in a new relationship already. That's not,
No,
like,
no, that just happened to happen.
Look, I tell people, like, like the roulette game, right? Sometimes you hit 7 or 11 on the first spin of the wheel, right? I don't promise anyone that they're going to be in a beautiful relationship within the 6 weeks. I do promise, so you'd be fucking amazed how much your entire life can change within a relatively short period of time. Or,
Yep.
not read this a little bit, read it like everyone. I always tell people, there's something you do for yourself so you feel better, you enjoy yourself more, and you get out of an emotional roller coaster. Not everyone's in a nice relationship or beautiful relationship within the few weeks here because people are
Oh,
focusing
yeah.
on themselves
No,
here.
no. But you'll
So
be happy every day. And when you're not happy or those bad thoughts come into your head, you know how to quickly address it and get rid of it. 2 minutes is too long.
way too fucking long. On that
Mhm.
note, just be straightforward with everyone here. Rita, we have had you and I did have some challenges along the way. Not you and I working together, but you had
Oh,
some
no.
challenges. You had some. I mean, I think I
Oh,
was
yeah.
good with you here, but you had some challenges along the way as far as working through the program here. Um, I'm gonna ask you a question you're not quite ready for, but I don't think it's a big surprise here. Were you as far as my response time? When it came to helping you, supporting you, how would you describe that? I'm not leading you here. When
No,
you needed
no.
my help and you asked for support, how would you describe that experience to me?
I honestly don't think I've worked with anybody who's gone over and above as good as you do. I mean, quickly, and especially when you're dealing with emotional things, you don't want to sit in that too long. So you were very quick to respond. And even if you couldn't address everything right then and there, you'd give me something to do or work on till we could talk at length about it. So it was always, you delivered 110% of what you said you were going to deliver,
Maybe even 120%?
maybe even 120.
Okay, very good, very good. Just want to check that one. So awesome. I mean, for everyone listening here, I do have a life. I mean, I'm not an on-call doctor, but I love what I do, and I'm here. And for anyone who's willing to work hard, who's decisive, resourceful, action-oriented, and has a real fucking sense of urgency, I'll go to the ends of the earth to help you. As long as again you understand, I do have a life too. So, a couple last questions. This has been great, Rita. Um, Again, I don't have I think you know this when you sign for the course here. I don't tell people I have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to be in the future here, but here's my question for you. How do you feel about your future now?
Well, when I signed up, a couple of my things were I was lonely
Mhm.
because, I date, it wouldn't last, I'd break up, whatever. But I was lonely a lot. The weekends were a big challenge for me. I'd ruminate, I'd get something in my head and it'd go over and over and over. And all of that's gone. I don't mind being alone anymore because I'm very happy with myself. It's not externally derived happiness, it's internally derived happiness.
That
I
you
don't
got it. You
need
almost gave my quote perfectly.
anybody
You almost, yeah,
except
you
me.
almost good. Yeah, so for anyone listening here, the quote I tell people is real self-confidence is not externally dependent, it is internally built. It is
Yeah,
called the science of neuroplasticity, not called the theory of neuroplasticity. That's where real self-confidence comes from. Just like in the gym, right? You can feel really confident physically when you've clocked in your time in the gym and lifted those weights. I mean, anyone can feel confident when you have two spotters lifting the bar off your chest, but
yeah.
can you do it yourself? This is all about building that real, true emotional strength, which is built, as you said very well, internally. So,
I, if you're thinking about doing this program, I highly recommend it and it'll change your life. You'll be so much happier and you'll be so glad you did it. But that's just my opinion.
you read my mind. I was going to ask you an extra question that you weren't ready for. Say, what would you say to anybody out there watching this here who's
Go
considering
for it.
if they think
Don't
rolling the
even
dice? But
think
you
about
already
it.
answered that.
It took me a few weeks to
Mhm.
even get started. But the quicker you can do it, the happier you're going to be. And you'll really be thanking yourself. It'll change your whole life. I think it's changed my whole life, my
Mhm.
whole outlook on the way I look at things and think about things.
Mhm. Awesome. Rita, thank you so much for sharing that. I'll say a couple last things for anyone listening here is considering contacting me here. I don't have any problem earning your trust. You want to, I mean, we can start whatever level you want. I even got a book on Amazon called Refocus on Power. Granted, the book does not fucking talk back to you. The book does not hold a candle to working me, but the book is a glimpse. You will understand why all those months and years on the couch ain't getting you in nowhere. So, you want to start there? That's fine. Go to Amazon, Refocus on Power. However, if you really want to cut to the chase and really want to give yourself an amazing, ascension to the top, feel free to go to my website, refocusonhappiness.com, refocus on happiness.com. You go in there, you can book a call, refocusonhappiness.com/now. I would love to speak to you, love to work with you. All I ask is if you book a call me, do not book that call trying to get freebies. I will know who you are very, very quickly. I do ask you're at least open to the program. You're serious about this. You're not trying to reinvent the fucking wheel here. Why would you reinvent something that's already being invented? On that note, I don't have any problem earning your trust. Feel free to research me. Try to find a counselor, coach, therapist on planet fucking Earth that's going to showcase what you see on my YouTube channel. On that note, you can go to at Lance McKell, LanceMikkel on YouTube. I am incredibly confident in my position. Just remember, I never said this was easy. I just will prove to you it's worth it. Anyway, yeah, Rita, thank you again. Thank you so much for sharing your experience here. And for everyone else, I look forward to speaking with you soon. All right, bye bye.